What's up guys, it's Cobalt here, welcome back to another video. I didn't think I was going to be posting a video today because yesterday I posted one announcing some new Littlest Pet Shops for G7 Wave 6 that I had found that got revealed, so I wanted to share them with you guys because, again, you all seem to like these kind of like news and update related videos and I do really enjoy making them. But today I have discovered that I can show you guys all of the actual Wave 6 blind boxes. So yesterday was kind of talking about like a separate sub-series of blind boxes that's completely different from the main line. Today we're talking about the main line, which I'm actually really excited about because now I can finally discuss some of the things that I saw at Toy Fair. So first off, want to clear up some things. Where did I find this? I found this on eBay. One seller had dropped 3 different listings. I have absolutely no idea how they got their hands on these. Obviously, they're scalper prices. This sucks. I would generally say do not buy from scalpers, but I will be so honest, I did buy one of these and I will be getting 5 blind boxes, which should hopefully arrive next week, assuming that I'm not getting scammed. I would not be buying this if it wasn't for this YouTube channel because I am fully aware that I can just wait for these to hit stores and I can buy them for like $5 each. But I decided that I did want to buy them so that I could make some more videos talking about them with you guys and actually showing you the real Littlest Pet Shops before they hit store shelves, so you can get like a preview of how they're going to be. And to like offset the fact that yes, I bought from a scalper, I am also going to be donating them to the giveaway at LPS Meet Me. So if you're going to be at LPS Meet Me, you can have the chance to hopefully get some of these pets if you are part of the raffle. Although I am going to assume that maybe these pets will be hitting store shelves around that same time because genuinely the second half of the year waves usually start appearing around late July and early August, although it's never for certain, so I could be wrong on that. But anyways, let's zoom in and take a closer look. So I do apologize for the image quality. These are screenshots of eBay listings. They're not going to be the best, especially when we zoom on the actual pets themselves. But if you come back next week, hopefully I'll have some cool ones to share with you guys. So let's take a look at the actual packaging first, because you can see that the blind box packaging has kind of once again changed. So if you've been keeping up with the LPS packaging at all, series 1 through 3 looked like this, and then series 4 and 5 kind of changed up their design to be more of like a little purse kind of thing, which also, you know, fit the theme of those waves, which was like fashion and whatever. But now these new ones to me look a little bit more like a backpack, which I think is cool. I still prefer the original ones. It was like a little pet carrying case. I thought that was very cute. I do like this backpack design better than the purse design though, but again, that is personal preference. So you can see the panda mascot there. I've talked about her already in a couple videos, but obviously each wave has its own little panda mascot, which I think is very fun. I think she's, you know, pretty cute. The pink color is nice and that she's got some flowers on her head. Obviously, when we zoom in to the actual pet images on the back of the box, you can see her a little bit better. The main thing that I do want to point out though is it says style with gems. So this is something that they talked about at Toy Fair as well. Obviously, in the LPS community, we like to use like little rhinestone gems to decorate our Littlest Pet Shops and give them piercings and whatnot, and that is kind of what they're doing with this wave. So I actually don't know if this is replacing the accessories or if it's an add-on. I'm hoping it's an add-on because I would rather have some cool accessories, but if not, we'll see, because I know the price is going to be like exactly the same. So yeah, I think that is interesting. It also reminds me of like the deco pets that Hasbro did back in the day, mainly with like the jumbo pets where they came with stickers and stuff to decorate the Littlest Pet Shop with. Now we're getting those little gems, which is cool, but I feel like you can just kind of, you know, buy those separately if that's something that you really wanted to add. But that's my 2 cents on that. Let's take a look at the other side of the box now. Okay, so here is the back, essentially the collector's guide for the wave of blind boxes. This new line of LPS is kind of going to explore like different regions or biomes in this Littlest Pet Shop world that all of these pets sort of live in together. And there are 4 different ones, which you can also see are categorized here on the back of the box. So there's like the red paw with the heart, the purple paw with the star, the yellow one with the flower, and the blue one with the gem. And see, since I went to Toy Fair, I also have some more information on that as well. So the first little like town or whatever is called Hawesville Plaza. So, you know, you can kind of see like how each of these pets are themed. I feel like this one is kind of just going to be the way that LPS have looked for a while, like pretty normal, maybe some bright colors here and there, maybe some natural colors, very mixed up, very diverse. Then the purple with the paw is called Cyber Pet City. This is the one that I am the least interested in because it reminds me of these pets from like G5, G6 era, and I think that is absolutely the intention. But these ones are going to be the ones that are like more brightly colored, more funky looking, like they're definitely kind of their own little thing, like galaxy, bright colors, gradients, and then like these white speckly details, which are the part that I mainly don't like, but whatever, that's besides the point. And then the one below that is the Fairy Tale Forest forest, so more like woodland creatures. And I'd say these ones are also going to be fairly naturally colored, maybe some pastels in there as well. And then speaking of pastels, Glam Glacier, which is the last one, is also going to have some fairly pastel pets. And you can see obviously they are snow themed, so you get a lot of like wintry looking animals. But now let's zoom in even closer. Starting off with the panda. Again, I'm so sorry for these horrific image qualities. Hopefully I can show them to you much better next week. But first off, we have the panda. She is number 467, bro. That is crazy. How are we already in the 400s with these? So she low-key might be metallic. I did see these at Toy Fair. I don't recall there being any metallic pets. Obviously, what we saw were usually prototypes and samples, so the final products can look a lot different. But the dark pink details on her do look metallic to me in this image. But you can see she's got the flowers on her head, and it looks like the flower eye shine, so pretty true to the actual image on the box. Moving on, we have a Basset Hound. I am very, very excited for this one. The first Basset Hound in G7, and a mold that I really, really like. It looks like this one has diamonds in the eyes, and it almost looks like this one has glitter, but I feel like that, again, could just be the image quality because it's like very pixelated now that we're zoomed in so much. So I don't know. It very well could also be metallic, but I can't tell, and I don't recall this one being metallic either. And I do also love like the natural colors. Obviously, they're more saturated, but it is nice to have some more like brown little pet shops and whatnot. Then we have a wolf cat. It's got lightning bolt eye shines, which, you know, not a fan of, but whatever. I love the wolf cat bases, and it's always a good day when there's a wolf cat in the blind boxes because that is peak for customizing. She is very blue though. It's an interesting design, but it is pretty unique from all the other wolf cats that we've gotten so far. So I think that is cool as well, and I like her green eyes. Then moving on, we have kind of like the special pet for this blind boxes. So this is probably going to be like one of the chase ones, even though that really doesn't mean anything. Although they honestly might have gotten rid of like the rarity info and just gone with like where they fit into the like biomes and stuff. But I don't know. I'll have to look at the actual checklist when I hopefully get one next week. But this one has fuzzy ears. It's a koala, obviously. I think this is cool. I do like that they're kind of experimenting, you know, adding some interesting like different little LPS here and there. So in the wave that we're currently on, we got one with a fuzzy tail. Now we get one with fuzzy ears. Again, this one's got the gradient. It's purple and blue, and then it's got all these speckles on it. Definitely reads as like galaxy to me. But since we've had a lot of issues, in my opinion, with gradients on G7 LPS pets in the past, I'm kind of apprehensive on how these guys are going to look. Next up, we have our axolotl. Same deal here, but this one is a yellow and red gradient. I'm sorry, Peachy. I think this one looks really bad. It looks crazy. Bro's like sunburnt. I don't really know what's going on here, but who knows? Maybe it's cute IRL. I do not know. Aside from that, I don't have much to say about it. But what I am very excited about when it comes to making this video is talking about the brand new molds, because yes, I saw new molds at Toy Fair. There are several new molds in this blind box, and I can now talk to you about them. Hopefully I get them next week, but I'm probably going to end up with like 5 of the axolotls low-key. But this new mold is a mouse or a rat, maybe. I don't know which one it is. I will say this base is going to appear elsewhere in natural colors, so that's a plus at least. I really don't like that the first interpretation of a brand new base is like a super wacky color where you're like, okay, I have no idea what animal that is. I would much rather prefer if it was introduced with naturally colors, especially like the capybara, because we started off with like a neon red one and a neon blue one. You're like, what the hell is this animal? Because most people don't even know what a capybara is. I'm glad that eventually they released a couple that were brown, but you should have started with that. Anyways, I'm not really a huge fan of this base. I guess it reads as LPS. I'll have to see it again in real life and like the officially produced model, but it just looks a little strange to me. Unfortunately, if you are a fan of the original mice LPS, I think this is probably a sign that those are not going to be re-released as G7, and this is going to be what replaces them for now. It is also very big. It's basically the same size as all of the other pets. So unfortunately, we don't really have like size diversity with these pets either. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have a lot more to say about it once I actually get my hands on it in person. Moving on to the Greyhound. This one is also low-key ugly with the colors. I mean, I don't really like any of them in the Cyber Pet City line, but Greyhound bases are one of my favorites, especially when it comes to customizing, because like low-key, I feel like all of my OCs fit so perfectly into Greyhounds. But I'm very, very excited to see this base returning. Glad that it's part of the blind boxes, so it's very easily accessible, especially if you're a customizer. And, you know, I at least like that this one has like some white markings on it. I feel like that helps the design a little bit more, but I'm not really sure what's going on design-wise, because it's got like some little bits of purple in the middle of its forehead, but then the rest is pink, and it's hard to tell like what's a gradient and what's not. But obviously, again, the image quality here is crazy. But then moving on, we have a very interesting pet. I'm actually excited for this one. I think this is the best one that I've seen from the Cyber Pet Pet City Pets, and it is a red panda. So this is a new head swap mold, so it's not a newly created mold, but it is a new head and body pairing, which is something that I've actually really enjoyed them doing in G7. Obviously, we've had the wolf dog and the pug. Those are some examples of head swaps that they've done before, and this one is very interesting because it's kind of creating a brand new animal out of two animals that are not related. So this is actually a Chihuahua head on a chinchilla body, and they've turned it into a red panda, which I'm sure somebody has done as an LPS custom. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like something one of us would have done. But I think it looks really cool. The designs look really nice. I love the little eyebrows, and I think that the colors look good as well. It's like the black detailing has been subbed for like a dark purple, which I think is nice. It's hard to say what this one's eye shines are. Maybe diamonds? I'm not really sure, but I'm very intrigued by this pet, and it was one that I also found very interesting at Toy Fair. Unfortunately, like the rest of this pets again in this row, it also has the weird white like galaxy paint splatters, which I am not really a fan of. But let's go down to the next one, which is another new pet mold, which I think a lot of you guys are actually going to be really excited about, and this is a moth. So obviously we've had LPS butterflies before. They look quite different than the way this moth looks, but I think that this one actually looks like a really good mold to me. It translates pretty well as an LPS from what I'm like seeing in this image. It does definitely kind of remind me a little bit more of the G5 butterflies, which I honestly think are very cute, and I just think that this is like a much cuter interpretation of an insect than what we've had in like G1 and G2. But again, I'm not really like a fan of the bug LPS in general, so that's coming from somebody who prefers cats and dogs, and this low-key like leans more into that. So if you're somebody who genuinely really does like the insect LPS, I would love to hear your thoughts, particularly on this pet here. But again, this is part of the like furry tail forest thing, which to me has like very pastel colors, and this is definitely a really great example of that. I really like the pinks and the blues, so this is I think one of the ones that I am like most excited for. And then the last thing I have to say about this pet is it has like some scalloped purple eyes, which I think is going to be really cool as well. Then moving on, we have another one of the baby squirrel molds that has been reinterpreted as a skunk, which I love so much. I think it is so cute. We got one of those in, I think it was wave 4, and that's like one of my favorite G7 LPS. I don't like this one as much, and it looks like its hair and tail are going to be painted with like a metallic white / metallic silver paint. It does have some weird like pink thing on its hair, and I don't know what that is. Maybe like a flower or something. It's hard to tell. Then we have a snail. I'm calling it right now. The snail is going to be massive. I guess the G2 snails in this mold are already pretty big, but I just feel like the proportions are going to be crazy. I don't really remember seeing this one at Toy Fair, so I can't tell you. It's just going to have to be a surprise, I guess. But this one is cool because again, we're seeing another new mold returning, which I also really like. And I also think the pastel colors here are really nice. And I really love the brown eyes. So this is probably like the first time I've ever been excited for a snail. Then we have another hedgehog. This is going to be the second G7 hedgehog because we got one again before, and the set that came with the skunk that I was talking about. This one also looks like it is metallic. It looks like the lighter color on like the hair / spikes looks to be metallic, which is interesting. I think in general, I do prefer pets that are just like completely normal, no metallic, no glitter. But again, this is going to be like a very interesting, diverse and blind box series with like a lot of options. And then finally, we have the raccoon, which I've also talked about before because this is kind of like one of the main ones that they showed for this specific row of pets. I think that this one is also actually pretty cute, even though it has like the kind of funky, unnatural colors. I am pretty excited for this one. I like the overall design, and I think the pink and the green actually look good together. And finally, we're going back to the Glam Glacier row. And first off, we have a seal. I didn't even realize there was going to be a seal in these blind boxes. So this is going to be the first seal in G7. Also very excited for that. So what I'm like noticing from this row that I don't think I noticed before is, again, it looks like we're seeing more metallics, and especially on the seal, it looks like we might be seeing that like paint splatter effect again, which I don't like. That's the one thing that I'm going to say. I don't like the paint splatter stuff. It looks crazy to me. I am, though, very excited to get my hands on some seal LPS. This is a base that I've been waiting to be reintroduced in G7. Now it's finally here. Even if the design is not cute, I'm glad we're getting it, but I'm also, again, a little bit apprehensive on the size and the proportions. We'll see. And then moving on, this is the last new mold, at least for these blind boxes, and it is the moose. So I'm honestly really excited for this one. I really love the idea of a moose LPS, although I do think that the proportions, again, just by looking at this image, are going to be kind of crazy. And I did obviously see this one in person. Like all the new molds, I have very like mixed feelings on it, where there's parts of it that I really like, and then there's parts of it that are like, eh. And then also, like I said before about the mouse, I also don't like the fact that the first LPS moose that we're getting is blue, even though blue is obviously obviously my favorite color. I would rather it be a brown moose, which I think would look so cute. But either way, I am very, very, very interested in this mold in particular. I think it's the one that intrigues me the most, and obviously I want to customize one so bad. And then we have a husky. I'm pretty sure this one is like metallic or has some kind of pearlescent finish. It definitely looks that way in this image, but I think I recall seeing it that way at Toy Fair as well. I think it's going to be cute. There's like a G2 red husky, which is one of my dream LPS, and this one kind of gives those vibes, so I do like that about it. And then obviously any husky is a win in my book. And then moving on, we have the little penguin, which is also one that I have talked about in my Toy Fair video, because this one we also got to see an image of, although in this image it looks metallic and in the previous one it did not. So guess this guy's gonna be metallic, maybe, unless I'm misinterpreting this picture. I have no idea. Again, very bad image quality, but I still think he's cute. I like, again, the pastel colors. I think that's nice. And then finally, I feel like we're kind of ending on a little bit of a bad note. We got this bunny here. You know, again, the pastel colors are very nice, but I'm not really sure what's going on with the like eyeshadow thing. It looks a little bit diseased, and I just don't really care that much about this specific bunny base, but you know, whatever. There's definitely a lot going on here with this blind box series, so there's definitely going to be like at least one pet that everybody wants. But yeah, I don't know, there's ones here that look better than others. I'm just gonna say that. I am very intrigued though to see where this like LPS world is gonna take us with like the different regions and whatnot. Pawsville Plaza and Furry Tail Forest are the ones that are most interesting to me, because those are kind of like the most normal pets, and then the Glam Glacier ones like I kind of like, but if they're all gonna be metallic, I'm not gonna like that as much. And then the Cyber Pet City ones are just freaking crazy. So, but you know, it is what it is. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Again, please come back next week where I hopefully will actually get to unbox these guys. I'm going to have one video that's like my unboxing video, and then a separate video where I'm going to be taking a look at the full checklist, and we will get to see even more LPS reveal, because there's some other things that I know about that I am very excited to share with you guys, because I just want to know your opinions on it so bad. So yeah, leave me those comments. Go check out the video that I posted yesterday as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all then. Goodbye.